ATWJ. So today I'm going to do something a little tiny bit different. It's going to be a mini rant, me expressing some opinions, some things that I think to be facts, although, you know, a lot of this is going to be my perspective, but, well, how could it be otherwise? Today we're talking about consent. I would think that all of us, I should hope that all of us know that consent is super important for some pretty obvious reasons, and I'm going to talk about some extreme examples and some not so extreme examples of why it's really important to get and give consent where it doesn't cross your own boundaries, and how maybe to handle those things when you do accidentally cross a boundary in the lesser example end of the things and all the things. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we all agree, I should hope, that consent is super important. Some pretty extreme examples is physical intimacy, or even further in that spectrum, sex. I mean, you have sex with someone non-consensually, and that's, what do we call that, kids? Rape. Yeah, not good. Don't do that. In a slightly less extreme end of that spectrum, we're talking about, like, just, you know, palling around, like you touch somebody, you give them a hug. You want to have consent for that, because they might have some past trauma that you might not know about. So, like, great examples of how to do that, or how to hug someone that you might not know super well, or might be having a cruddy day. It's like, hey, want a hug? Not, hey, hug! Right. Some examples of why this might be important is, like, outside of just, you know, they might be dealing with some things that you don't know about, but also, like, workplace. You can get sexual harassment lawsuits by putting your hand on someone's shoulder when they don't want you to. You can get that kind of a lawsuit by, you know, touching a customer or a coworker just lightly on the shoulder in a way you didn't think was crossing any boundaries. I'm going to use another set of analogies here, or examples that might seem kind of humdrum. Oh, well, you know, how likely is this to happen? But you'd be surprised, if you take this analogy, how often these kind of boundaries aren't actually being respected in our day-to-day, and I'll get into why I'm bringing this up in a way. So I'm going to call this the shopping cart analogy. So say you're in a store with someone you might or might not know real well, or someone you don't know at all, and you're both in the milk aisle. Just random example there. And you happen to notice that they grab a thing of milk of one brand that they just decide on, whether that be spur of the moment or through experience, you don't know. And they put that in their cart. You have a preference for a different brand, or you like multiple different brands. You wouldn't say grab your preferred brand and just kind of toss it in their cart and say, there you go, you like milk, I like milk, have this milk, have all the milk. You'd ask, be like, hey, I notice you like such and such brand of milk. I like this for X, Y, or Z reason. Would you like to try this instead, or in addition to the milk that you're buying now? It's just common sense, common courtesy, right? And if they say no, don't put the milk in their cart. I would think this is pretty obvious stuff, and for those of you, and I should hope that all of you at this point are familiar with the drinking tea or making tea for someone example, and if not, I'll link a video or an article down below, maybe both, find them both, and go watch that for yourself if you haven't yet. But for obvious reasons, I should hope, this isn't the kind of thing that you would want to do to someone else, because it's rude. And, you know, they say no, you don't put it in the cart. If you put it in the cart thinking, hey, they'll like this, okay, whatever, we're all human. They say, hey, don't do that. Clearly, stop doing that. Don't continue putting milk in their cart. It's not cool. And you're more likely to lose friends that way than you are to gain them. So some other examples that you might not have thought of, or maybe you did. If you did, kudos to you. If you didn't, here's something to think about. Social media, Facebook groups. Great examples here are like, say, a lot of people now are playing Pokemon Go. Just because you know that X, Y, or Z person plays Pokemon Go doesn't necessarily mean that they want to be a part of a Pokemon Go group, or your Pokemon Go group, or what have you. So rather than just adding someone to a group without asking them first, it would be considerate to ask first if they want to be a part of said group. I get that you both have shared interests. Don't force those interests on other people. It's kind of not cool. So what would be cool is say, hey, I play Pokemon Go. I play for Team, in my case, I play Team Mystic because, well, you know, Mystics and stuff. It was really a random choice, but whatever. People had asked me, hey, do you want to be part of this Portland Team Mystic group thing? I'm like, nah, I work a lot. I don't really have time for that, and you know, I don't mind sharing tips on my main line about this thing or that thing, or be a messenger, that's fine. Or if you have questions that I might be able to answer, then PM me. That'd be cool. Just, you know, don't add me to the group. That's cool. But then there's other people who just automatically assume, oh, you must want to be part of the group, and they add me. I remove myself, and then they get mad. And I'm like, hey, I have this boundary here. Please respect that. I know you didn't mean any harm. Just, you know, not really what I want to do. Same thing goes for Jediism. I'm a Jedi. Have been for a long time now. I don't really want to be a part of every group. I've only got time for the 2 that I'm in. Or the 3. Something like that. And even then, barely that. I don't really want to be a part of every group. But yet I still find, on occasion, about once, twice a year, somebody will just, without asking, add me to the group. And so, I digress. Ask first, or you don't know what the boundaries are. If you slip, you don't ask, you just do the thing, and then they say, hey, can you not do that? This is a boundary. I consider that pretty rude. Don't get butthurt. Just be like, okay, yeah, sorry, I messed up. I'm a person, you're a person, I forgive you. Or you know, that I forgive you, as though they did the offense. No, what I'm saying here is, you know, bow out gracefully. Yeah, I crossed your boundary. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was a boundary. I should have thought about it and asked first. We want to provide options, not take options away, because if I'm forcing you to do a thing, you don't really have the option there, especially when it comes to freaking Facebook groups and social media. You can just add someone to a group without asking first, and that's kind of not cool to do. Kind of a jerk move. So, you know, bow out. Admit your fault. Okay, I did a thing. I didn't mean to do a thing. I'm not going to do the thing anymore. Don't let your ego get in the way. Try not to resort to name calling, because that's not cool. That's not mature. It's not an adult thing to do, and I realize not everybody watching this is technically an adult yet, but we're all aiming for some form of adult responsibility and maturity here. I should hope that's why you're watching my channel. Anyway, don't let your ego get in the way. Don't let that become a second offense. You know, because not kosher. So some do's and don'ts of consent. Ask first. You know, want a hug, as opposed to just glomp. Hug. Would you like to join my Facebook group thing? Or if not, respect the boundary. If you do slip up and someone says, hey, you crossed the boundary, try not to do that. Pretty simple stuff. Now, if you find yourself on the receiving end of this, bring it to their attention. Realize, you know, that they're just a person too. They probably just got over enthusiastic, didn't think about it. Again, I am referring to the lower end of the spectrum, like the pat on the shoulder, the hug, you added me to your Facebook group, buddy. I didn't really want to do that. I'm removing myself. Please don't re-add me. That's not cool in my books. Or, you know, as I like to joke with my coworkers, hey, you're kind of in my bubble here. If you're close enough for me to deck you in the mouth, you're too close. Stand back just a little bit. Thank you. Like, pal around a little. Sure, we can joke. Just don't touch me. I don't like to be touched that much. Don't resort to name calling if you find yourself on the receiving end of this kind of violation of consent. Doesn't help anybody. Two wrongs don't make a right. Don't be like, hey, you little such and such mother-loving blah, 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 blah. It's just going to put them on the defensive, and it blows way, way out of proportion from there. And you can lose some friends like that. Now, forgive them. Again, we're all just people. People mess up with this slight stuff, and it doesn't do anybody any good to hold on to that kind of stuff for longer than a day or so. Just be like, whatever, dude. Just kind of, you know, boundaries here. Don't cross those. And you know, if they can't respect that, well then consider, is this the kind of person I want to be around? If they can't respect that, if they aren't respecting your boundaries, they don't respect you. And if they don't respect you, not the kind of friends you need, buddy. Not at all. So, you know, some things to think about when you're going about your daily life. Be conscious of other people's boundaries where you can. Take no for no, because no doesn't mean maybe. No doesn't mean convince me. No means no. And if they express later that, hey, maybe I would like to do this thing, that's cool too. More choices, not less of them. Anyway, loved a lot of you kids. I think that pretty much concludes my rant/lesson thing that I was going to talk about today. And I'll see you some other time.